What's up, everybody? My name is Adrian Quesada, and I'm broadcasting semi-live via my cracked screen iPhone at Level 1 Sound here in Austin, Texas, my studio. And I'm going to give you a track-by-track breakdown as quick as possible of the new Echocentrics record, Echo Hotel. Track 1 is called Canyon. Canyon has actually been finished for a few years now. I've worked on this song with Alex Moss from the Black Angels and a good friend Jazz Mills, and it's just this awesome duet between them. Recorded it, I think, 4 years ago now. It's been sitting pretty much almost mixed between me and Alex and Jazz, and I've always wanted to release it. I knew it would be an anchor for the new record, or I knew it would be a good way to kick off the new record. So when I finally made a push late last year and had a little downtime to finish this, I thought it'd be the perfect way to start off the record. Track 2, which is called Staring at the Ceiling, features James Petrali from White Denim. This one, sometimes ideas come to me so quick that I don't have the time to get a drummer in here or anything like that, and I just got to put it down before I forget it. Through the magic of my man Sean Lee in the UK, who I've collaborated with quite frequently, he puts out all these drum break records and CDs, and there's no better producer for tough, nasty drum breaks than Sean Lee. You can put your money on that. And I put a Sean Lee record on the turntable because I knew I'd find a drum break in there that inspired me, and the little hologram Sean Lee came up, played some killer drums, and that was it. I knew it was exactly what I was hearing for the song. Wrote that song completely around that. Didn't want to touch it, didn't want to re-record it. So I forced Sean Lee to be on my record, via vinyl. Thanks, Sean. The next one is called Echo Hotel. So this one, years ago, my band Brownout was auditioning to be the backup band for Goody Mob, CeeLo's old hip-hop group. We recorded a bunch of instrumentals, and nothing ever kind of came of it, but I'm a big fan of not throwing anything away. Sort of the reduce, reuse, recycle mentality before the studio. Always find something that you may have worked on years ago that you thought was crap and revive it and turn it into something else. I always save everything. So I was going back and listening to some of those Goody Mob things. I was really inspired by a particular drum beat. It was just super iconic. So John Speece and I went and re-recorded that at my friend Eric Wofford's studio, Cacophony Recorders. Have brought my friend John Branch in as well, who plays in the live band, to play some slide guitar at the end. I thought it'd be the perfect instrumental, and I thought it'd be the perfect title track. The next one's called Muerto en Vida. This is another demo I wrote years ago, probably 4 years ago, around the same time as Canyon. And I originally heard it more of as a country-ish song. I went and re-recorded it last year as well, and I sent Natalia Clavier a bunch of songs, and Natalia always surprises me. I never thought she'd be attracted to that particular song, but she heard it and took it in this whole other direction and kind of made it her own. She put her stamp on it, and I'm really glad the way that one sort of evolved from what I was hearing to meeting somewhere in the middle. And Natalia's got a really particular intense story about writing that and going through all that and what that's all about, and you can probably pick some of that out in the lyrics, and hopefully it comes across emotionally in the tune as well. So the next one, Death of a Rock Star, was actually the soundtrack to an old film that was directed by Tom Huckabee that was re-released last year, produced by Jonathan Demme and Louis Black, screened at South by Southwest, and we did this live score. It was a short experimental film loosely based on the death of the last 24 hours of Jim Morrison's life. So we did this live score where we played along to the movie. It was myself, John Speece on drums, Peter Sobczynski on organ, and played along to the movie, caught all the nuances, and I brought Alex Moss in to sing as well for that one. And I was wanting people to hear that one. If you didn't see the movie and you weren't at South by Southwest that year, there's a good chance you weren't going to hear that. So I really thought it'd be important to put that on the record. So I edited that down into more of a song, traditional song structure. But if anybody is really wild about this, reach out to the label, track me down, and there's a much longer version out there that's way more psychedelic that I think you'll dig. The next track, El Sol, I thought would be the perfect song to kick off side B. Sent a few songs to Chita Lima, frequent collaborator from Brazil, who I'm a big fan of, and had worked with her a lot on the last record as well, and she just completely killed this one. She just owned it, made it her own, sent it back. I didn't want to change anything, and she had some great ideas on the vocals, great ideas on vocal effects, and this is one of the only ones that features, this is the only one that features programmed drums and no live drums. The next one is called The Organizer. It's another instrumental. This is the last song I wrote and recorded for the record. A few days before mastering, this happens to me on pretty much everything I've ever worked on, I always have a freak out and want to add another song to the record and just see what happens. So I recorded about 3 in the last few days of working on this, and The Organizer was one of them. I wanted to do an instrumental track. I was listening to a ton of Sean Price recently deceased MC from Brooklyn. Nothing but Sean Price. So I just kept hearing instrumentals that Sean Price would rap on. So I recorded this song, and obviously wasn't going to get Sean Price on it. And to spare you the humor of me attempting to rap on it, I thought I'd just keep it instrumental, and I thought it worked. And that one was actually based, kind of written on my favorite organ that I have here in the studio, the Univox Organizer. I was singing kind of about the parallels about how being a producer, sometimes my role is really just that of organizer. So there you go, there's the title for that one. The next one is called Has Regresado Viejo Amigo. I got obsessed when I made the first Echocentrics record. I started getting obsessed with the psychedelic boleros. There was a bunch of groups in the late 60s that were doing their take on boleros, and they were funky, they were psychedelic, they were nasty, they were dramatic, drenched in reverb, just amazing. Like somebody I know said it always sounded like Ghostface could just come out and rap on any one of those at any moment. But I started, the idea was to make a whole EP of these, and I still sort of am working on that. I have a handful of these in the can. And this one was so over the top, so dramatic. It was recorded originally by Rodolfo, an artist on Discos Fuentes in Colombia. Sent it to Natalia. She shrugged it off and thought I was crazy, like she always does. But I always thought with some of those songs, the lyrical content is so over the top, so dramatic, and you know, she sort of laughed it off at first, but every time you make Natalia take it there, she will take it there. And I feel like she really made it her own as well, and I think you can hear it in the song. It's like, see, you know, all the boleros kind of have subject matter that all of us have been through: heartbreak, loss, etc., etc. And anytime you make Natalia step up and do any of that, she totally owns it. The next one, Getting Away With Your Gal, it's another song I've kind of been sitting on for some years. I've been a fan of Bill Callahan. My wife and I love his last few records in particular. And I'd met him before, but my friend Thor Harris here in town connected me with Bill and made the collaboration happen. So Bill came over one afternoon, knocked it out, and this song went through many forms. I was trying this and that. Nothing ever really quite worked, but in the end, I ended up just taking the drums out and taking a lot of elements out and making it as intimate. With Bill's records, it's like it's almost like you're just sitting there and you hear his voice so front and center. It's like he's telling you a story, and there's really nothing in the way. Everything's just kind of complimenting. It's almost like being in a campfire or something, except you're in a living room. So for this one, removing a lot of the stuff, making it feel intimate like a Bill Callahan song, felt almost like, not like you were sitting in a living room, but almost like you're sitting in a desert on a strange trip with Bill Callahan telling you a story. And Bill Callahan always has the best, I think he's one of the people that paints the best picture with lyrics, and has a little bit of a sense of humor and everything too that's super understated, and I love that, and it worked with this song. The next one, we're coming down to the end now. Stars in Her Eyes was an instrumental that I wrote. I wanted the record to start kind of winding down and almost feel like the end of a long day, where you start to get, you know, everything kind of calms down a little bit, get a little reflective and introspective, and I thought this would be a perfect one to kind of start winding the record down. Now we're at the last track, and finally you can go check this out and listen to it. I hope I'm not blabbing on too much. It's called Garage Bands. This one I wrote, I had just gotten an iPad and was on tour, and I thought it'd make me musically more productive with all the wasted hours that happen. And you touring musicians out there, you guys know how it goes. So I thought it'd be a good thing to kind of sit around during the day and work on some musical ideas. And I just downloaded the GarageBand app, messed with it, and there's some kind of ridiculous features for playing keyboards where you push one button and it does these kind of crazy arpeggios. So I wrote that song based around that. And then I thought it'd be fun to go interpret that live. So we sat down and tried to play that one, but couldn't really play that keyboard part unless I had gotten my neighbor Peter, who probably could have played that. So I just thought, what the hell, we just took the GarageBand app, plugged it in, I did the exact same thing. So the keyboard, the amazing virtuosic Baroque keyboard you're hearing, is actually me playing one finger. There's no pretenses here, there's no hidden formula. It doesn't have to be this, it's whatever works. That's what you're hearing. And for the second half, I really wanted to write something that would just kind of put an end to the record and, you know, be a way to close this book. And wrote this thing, this instrumental that I thought could connect to that one really well. It was a good chance for me to kind of finally play some guitar on the record and not step on all the singer's vocal parts. And, you know, kind of had this epic ending to the record. I wanted it to feel like a long journey that finally kind of started ending and would evoke some emotion at the end that would be, you know, unique to whatever you're going through that day. And that's it. The record winds down. There's no hidden tracks. That's kind of a thing of the past. Anyways, I hope you dig it. Echocentrics, Echo Hotel, out on Nacional Records. Thank you.